Hello everybody, welcome to the Vantage Indy Special League. This is round 12 here in Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. I am Elliot Lang, joining you for today's event. It's going to be a wet one, folks. Dry right now, but once we get into that race, rain is on the horizon. Qualifying now, Rick Raven fastest in practice, but only by a couple tenths, just ahead of Leo Delmas. Jace Meyer, his teammate of Delmas, off track on his first attempt at the lap. We've seen a lot of off tracks here in practice. Going to be interesting to see how these guys handle things once we get into this short 10-minute qualifying session. If you missed last week, Rick Raven won his 5th round of the season, the first of our 2 Canadian races, this one being the second. So his championship lead has grown over Larry Miles, finished 4th in last week's race. 30 machine, driven by Canadian Larry Miles, is at a second home event of the championship. So we could be on for a good points haul here today for him. Notably, in practice, he was the only one trying out the wet weather tires in dry conditions. So we could be looking at starting this race on wets and just riding it out until the rain comes down. Oh, big hit there for Casey Keller on his warm-up lap. We've seen a lot of that. Rick Raven currently on his flying lap. Actually approaching the end of it. Very, very fast lap times in practice. Low 1-minute 3s. The fastest track we've had so far in the calendar. Cross the line, it's a 1-minute 3.6. Very good competitive first lap. Leo Delmas is also on his flying lap, coming to the end of it now. Ooh, that could have been off the track. We'll see if it's counted. It was, but very off the pace, 106. Actually slower than all the laps in practice. Elliott Rolls, did he get a lap in? See, it didn't seem to count. He's going to have to re-rack and go again. Meyer, is he on a flying lap? Yeah, he is. 1.6 seconds down. 105.2. Nearly a 105.3. Casey Keller veering off track and into the wall. His second contact with the wall in qualifying. He's in for a long one. Larry Miles had his home event. Take you on board here for the back half of this lap. Up the hill and continue braking all the way down to first gear, easy on the power, and down this long back stretch. Leo Delmas getting in his lap time, only half a second off Rick Raven. Buys now Larry Miles, only a couple corners left. He's on the inside of the track actually. Able to do it without really braking at all. So he seemed to miss the apex slightly there in the final corner. What is it going to be? Yeah, only 1.2 seconds off there. Let's watch the start of this lap for him. We'll see if it's any faster. See just how fast these cars are as Rick Raven's improved to 103.2. Ooh, big snap there from Larry Miles. That's going to make this lap almost a wash. Rolls was very fast in practice compared to Rick Raven. Let's see if he can get that time any closer. Seems he's making a few too many mistakes, which is invalidating that lap time. Even then, you saw he drove off the track. Maybe not enough to invalidate the time, but probably not helping it either. He's going to get a tow here from Tyler Justice. Justice doesn't have a lap on the board yet. But he's unintentionally helping Rolls with his. Final corner, hopefully this one is clean. See, it is. Jumps up a full second. Up to P2, only 3/10 off of Rick Raven. Very impressive lap time, quite competitive. Further back, that's Leo Delmas driving off track. Something you want to see if you're in a position where you're able to fight for pole, like the 20 car is. Larry Miles on the start of a flying lap now. Down the hill before climbing right back up it again. He's able to put the laps on. Ooh, big wiggle there. Corner is very hard to stay planted in. Car likes to dance a lot through there. See if that cost him any time. Only a couple minutes left in qualifying. I'm interested to see if anyone's going to go back out after Larry Miles gets his lap time done. Everyone is still on track currently. Wonder if it's going to stay that way. Miles did not seem to really improve, and he's way off track, invalidating that lap time. Delmas potentially on the lap here.
Turn 2 is flat out.
Larry Miles just found out turn 2 is flat out. He might have, though, been slowed down slightly by the grass he drove into. See if those times start to fall down. As we enter the final 2 minutes of qualifying, Leo Delmas improves, but not enough to get ahead of his teammate. Rick Raven went about 0.04 of a second quicker than his previous lap. So Rolls and Delmas both over 0.4. Delmas on a slowdown lap now. Miles heavy into the wall. He probably tried to take turn 2 flat. Did not work out for him. I think he's going to have to hurry if he wants to get back out on track. And yeah, he's done. He's not going to be able to get another lap time in, unfortunately. It's the best he can do. P5. On board now, Leo Delmas. I don't know if he's on a push lap. Elliott Rolls might be starting their final lap of qualifying. Up to 5th gear. Now make it 6th. Down the hill, then right back up it. Right the way down to 1st gear. Turn it in sharp. Manage the wheel spin on exit. And then it's a long run down to the next corner. Now, Rolls and Miles had very different lines through here. Rolls might be faster, but he could just be carrying more speed in the other corners. Curious to see how that works. Does he improve? Does not appear to be the case. Rick Raven's going to pit. Leo Delmas, the only one, I think, on a lap. Qualifying is in its closing stages now. No, and Delmas is going to pit. So the grid is now set. So that wraps up qualifying here in Canadian Tire. Even though we've seen how these guys perform in the dry, this race is going to be majority wet. So we might not, it might be a completely different order in these conditions. Alrighty, we are going to be going racing here. Let's wait for the grid to start populating. Here it is. Rick Raven on pole, 103.2, very fast lap time. Gale rolls 103.6 in second. His teammate Leo Delmas, the 20 machine, 103.64 in P3 with their other teammate Jace Meyer, 103.7, I think it was. Larry Miles, 104.0. Tyler Justice, 104.8. And then Casey Keller wrapping things up a 105.3. He has some work to do this race if he can keep it on track the whole way through. Rain looking like it's going to be about half an hour from what I see. See, it's already very foggy. Seems they've changed. They've replaced Barney. Barney might have been fired, unfortunately. Might be in need of new work. Alrighty, we're about to get underway here. Everyone's gridded. It's going to be Rick Raven leading the field to green. For some reason, he's not leading right now, but he's going to have to be when it comes time to start things up. Already trying to save fuel here. Let's see what tires everyone's on. Big one I'm curious in is Larry Miles. He is starting on the dry tires, but he was testing out the wet, so I think he's decided that the rain's going to be too far away to make starting on these wet compounds work. Leo Delmas on the intermediates, Rick Raven on the primary, on the intermediate, the alternates. Same thing with Rolls. Keller, what tires is he on? I think that those are the alternates. Yes, it is. So Larry Miles, only one besides Jace Meyer starting on the primary tires. Curious to see if we'll get the rain before these tires come into their own, or if it will be, or if they will just be left behind initially. Rick Raven won the last 2 races. Can he make it 3 in a row?
Sorry about that, my bad. Didn't realize you were going to come up.
Chase Meyer potentially making contact on the pace lap. It's going to be Rick Raven starting things off, and we are green here in Canadian Tire. Side by side in turn 1, Rick Raven has the initial jump. As we see a little blink there from Rolls. He's going to try and make it work there. Unfortunately, he did not have enough overlap to force himself alongside. He had to back out of it. Let's see, though, if he's able to potentially fight later on this lap. He Rolls catching up now. His teammate further behind him might also be catching up, and even further back, Jace Meyer already potentially feeling some pressure from Larry Miles. Get an eye on this radar here, seeing if we, yeah, you can see there, just behind our timing tower, the rain is approaching. Rick Raven already with a near 9/10 lead over Elliott Rolls. Back though, Larry Miles and Jace Meyer about to get involved with something here. That gap under 0.4 of a second. Miles now down to under 0.3 behind the 21. Not able to make it work into this braking zone. But potentially, depending on how he plays his cards, we could see something that spot next lap. Nearly under 0.2 now for just a quick second there before we enter turn 1. On board now, Larry Miles. He's under 0.4. See how the thing plays out here. He's gonna need a great exit out of this corner if he wants to fight for it this lap. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle. It's gonna hurt him slightly. Yeah, you see he's lost some of that time. Right around half a second back now, not using any push to pass. Is Meyer using some? Yes, he is. That could account for a portion of that gap. Further up, teammates of Meyer, Delmas and Rolls, engaging in a little bit of battling. Right here, gap right around half a second. End of the lap, it was down to 0.3. See, very, very fast lap times coming for all these people. Rick Raven, 1.6 second gap. Impressive stuff from him in these early stages. I don't know how much rain practice he has in these cars, or if someone else has more, because that's what's going to matter for the majority of this race. here. Larry Miles actually was able to close in big time on Meyer. That gap was nearly 2/10, and we hadn't even crossed the line yet. Through the final corner, seems to have a better exit. Gap under half a second now. Though Rolls must have made a mistake, because Leo Delmas is right there. All these battles are heating up at different points. I don't know which one to focus on here. Rick Raven, big lead there for Aftershock Motorsports. Unfortunately for the team's championship, his teammates aren't around. That championship lead right now is with these two in the background, 3 cars of Rodin Racing. Are racing the ones to be in the team game. They almost look to the outside there for a quick second, trying to size things up. Lap 5, still no rain. It's got to be coming soon then. Delmas went really deep there into turn 1. As Rolls having a little bit of a blink. Could be something he needs to watch out for. As Miles under 2/10 to Jace Meyer. Miles still in 5th, 6 laps into this series. It is a very long one though, so nothing out of the question here. Larry Miles under 2/10 once again. Is he going to look to the inside, outside, under a 10th now? He looks to the inside as we go back up the hill through this fast corner here. Still side by side. Now it's not. Larry Miles up to P4. I don't think Meyer is going to be able to fight that one though. But he may try still. He's very close. Only 3/10 back. Look at this now. Miles 4 seconds to make up to Delmas and Rolls. 7 seconds off the lead. He has a lot of ground to make up if he wants to close in back up to his championship rival, Rick Raven. Speaking of Rick Raven, that gap's actually come down a couple tenths. So Rolls and Delmas are closing in just a little bit slowly. Seven laps in, still no rain. Trying to look to see if I can find some information on the weather. Rolls had an off track. Gonna close this battle up once again with the teammates. I don't know if there's any team rules in play here. Look, that gap is growing quite a lot. As Rolls goes into the off track again. So, this is Delmas' probably best opportunity so far this race. Just try and get around. He just doesn't have that close, and I feel like team rules are in place then. But they might want to consider swapping the cars if LA Rolls keeps falling back this much. Leo Delmas looking like the more competitive entry for Rodin Racing. With Jace Meyer, he's closed in. He actually looked alongside Larry Miles there in turn 1. So this fight is not off. Interested to see if any of these positions are going to be able to be changed.
Just a heads up, guys. I've been asked to give you an update. 30 minutes, the rain is out. 30 minutes.
30 minutes until rain, so
Somebody just died.
Oh, Gale rolls out. Caution is out. First caution in a good chunk of time. So it's a surprising caution. All cautions, of course, brought to you by Tay-Fi Artists. Was trying to get a picture of what that was.
Caution is for Elliott Rolls absolutely dying into turn 5.
Apparently death into turn 5 is what we hear.
I don't think he's walking away from now.
We just switched from that camera. Very unfortunately. Oh my goodness. I'm seeing it now. That was quite an incident. Wow.
If we use the wet tires, does that count as a tire change, or do we have to use all 3?
So here,
Now,
we're
the
on
tire
board.
change rule has been turned off because the rain will come before the end
We're
of the
watching
session. It's
the
about 30
5
minutes
car
out
of
right now.
Elliott Rolls.
Okay.
Big
coming in.
slide there.
You could have left it on because switching to wet tires is switching compounds.
Grabs the wall there. Airborne.
Yeah, that was a
Hard
that was
hit
a
into the
decision.
wall.
Not mine. I don't set up the sessions at all.
And doing some
But
flips.
That's good to know for future
Where's
reference.
Purge? Because if he had us on a flip watch,
Yeah, I didn't know if that would count either.
it's confirmed a full flip there for the 5 car.
That would have been funny to have everybody staying on the same tire compound to the end, and then just for it not to rain, and everybody has to rush onto like the other compound.
He's nearly out of this race at this point. Wow, let's watch that on board if we can. Full speed for you here. You can see car goes high-sided. Hard hit into the wall. He is out of this race. He has retired from it, not wanting to use that fast repair. Keep an eye on his speed here. Let's see if I can get us a cockpit cam of what's going on. That I can. Where is on this thing the speed? Trying to find it for you guys here. Yeah, I'm not seeing the speed. I'm curious at what it is, because that was a very, very big hit. Look at that again in the fog here. See. Bang! Big hit there. Car upside down. And out. This day is done. Here in the pits. See Rick Raven first out. Everyone changing to a new set, interestingly. Maybe just grabbing some fuel. For some, but Elliott Rolls in his first race back in a couple weeks, bringing out the yellow. Big incident for him. It was it's a one for the ages right there, crash-wise. Very, very hard hit. Caution should be ending within the next lap or two. Field right the way back up. Rain projected 345. It's 318. That caution came out very, very quickly. Wow, that is, I don't know what to say to that event, to that incident, because it was probably the hardest hit I've seen all season, one could argue. if not the number one, it's definitely in the top three. Luckily, though, for Larry Miles' sake, that put him up in third, and the caution got him in contention here to get up to second quickly. He had a 4-second gap he would have to close in. He doesn't have to do that as we are 1 to go before this restart. Rain still a decent ways away. Rick Raven going to be starting up front. Leo Delmas in second. Larry Miles in third. Jace Meyer in fourth. Casey Keller in fifth. Tyler Justice in sixth. Elliott Rolls out of this race after a very, very big incident there. Upside down in turn 5. Safety, our Porsche 911 safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, and we'll get back under green for the last 49 laps of this race. Important note, unlike NASCAR, these races do start single file. So the lane isn't important. It's going to be how quickly you can get that jump compared to the guy ahead of you. Because you'll be trying to get that pass done at turn 7 after the long straight. Pace car is off. Rick Raven now going. 49 laps to go. Got a good jump. Half second already to Delmas. As Casey Keller, as he made a mistake, he just went off track slightly, kept it going straight. He falls to 6th. We never really got to see how Leo Delmas stacked up against Rick Raven. Raven able to run away because Delmas was stuck behind his teammate Elliott Rolls. And Miles was stuck behind his teammate as well, stuck behind both of their teammates, Jace Meyer, but he got around him right before the caution came out. He's gonna try and close in. 6/10 the gap between Raven and Delmas. Delmas only has 1 pole position to his name, no wins. Rick Raven, a good chunk of poles and 5 wins on the season. Hoping to make that 6th today. That was still under a second behind. Trying to keep that gap low. Rain right around 20 minutes out. Very much on the radar. Further back, Jace Meyer. 6/10 behind. Larry Miles, he started ahead of Miles, but got passed right before that caution came out for the incident involving his teammate. Under half a second out of that gap. Under 4 tenths. Seems like he had a slightly better exit. Same thing with turn 1. Very even, but 100th or so better. He loses out slightly in turn 2, but on the back end, he actually makes up a lot of time. Under 3 tenths now. Ooh, Larry. It wasn't Larry. Sorry, that wasn't Larry Miles. Saw some grass and times changing. Thought that might have been Miles. Appeared to be Leo Delmas. Jace Meyer under 2 tenths. Oh, near contact there. Did we actually see some contact? I don't think so. Jace Meyer 7 tenths back. That was very, very close. He's gonna have to do all that work over again. Thomas 1.6 seconds back. He started to fall off there. After he got in the grass, it seems he made a minor mistake. Jace Meyer, though, already closed back in. Larry Miles gained 3 tenths after he had that near contact in turn 6. Under half a second now. Meyer is looking like the faster of the 2 cars, especially since he's on these alternate tires. On board now with the 21. As Larry Miles, big incident there. Big slide. What a save there by him. That's going to close. Meyer right the way up. Is he going to go right or left? 15 hundredths of a second. Seems like he's kind of backing down from me. He goes to the left. Is that enough, though, to get alongside? He's going to go for it. Side by side now. And ahead. Beautiful move there by Jace Meyer. Let's see if Miles can fight it. Top of the hill, gap still under half a second. Meyer goes off track. That's going to hurt him there. He's able to make it back. It seems Miles is over driving that long left-hander of turn 2. Tyler Justice is actually close in. He found some pace. Good for him. Yep, 4 tenths now. This is one of the sections where these tires, where these alternate tires really help getting the power down. See, Meyer seems to be doing a little bit of weaving. He actually went in the grass there, maybe paying too much attention to his mirrors. Larry Miles, I think, thought about doing what Meyer did to him 1 lap ago. Decided against it. It cost him a good chunk of time. 44 laps to go here. Still a long way left in this race. It seems Meyer pulled away ever so slightly in those final couple corners. So that's where Miles is going to need to focus his attention on the rest of this race. Miles got that gap to 6 tenths of a second, now half a second. Is he going to be on that push to pass? No, he is not, but Tyler Justice might. He also isn't. Jace Meyer, though, even though he's ahead, he was on that push to pass. 3 tenths now. You can see Meyer's able to pull away more these final corners compared to Miles. Miles, I need to start following his line through there, seeing what he can make work. Turn 1, once again, also losing time. Turn 2, same thing. Meyer putting on a great performance. He's in 3rd right now. Top of the hill. Might have gotten a better run there. Yeah, that gap came down about tenth and a half at the exit of turn 6. Under half a second now. Gonna be down to under 3/10, not enough to go for a move. But he's gonna need to focus on keeping with Meyer here if he wants a shot at the podium. Jace Meyer, once again, putting on an incredible performance in these Canadian tracks. Got a podium last week in Montreal. He's about a tenth and a half ahead of where he was last lap, Larry Miles. So he has a good chance here of maybe going for the overtake at the end of this long straight. Oh, got right up to Jason Meyer there. Maybe missed his braking zone. Seems that hurt the run. That gap drop actually increased there to half a second. That gap under 2/10 now. Miles not able to go for the move. But you can see he's not getting left behind anymore. Seems he's finding some time here in these final couple corners. 4/10 now before we get to turn 1. Under 4/10 after turn 1. He's getting faster as these primary tires are coming into their own. Under 3/10 now as we get to the top of this first hill here. Actually looks to the outside, turn 4. Under braking in 5. Is he going to be able to do it? No, he's not. He has to back out of it. Though he's only 3.5 tenths back on this long straight. He might be deploying some push to pass here. He's going to go to the left, looking at the outside. He's actually able to get ahead before we even get to the corner. Amazing stuff from him there. The Meyer is faster in these final couple corners, so we could see this fight continue on very soon. Meyer is 4/10 back from Larry Miles, make that 3.5. Miles, though, is actually losing big time to Leo Delmas and Rick Raven. That gap's grown quite a bit. Miles has a decent exit. But Meyer could potentially be close enough to attempt to go for the pass again. I don't think that's going to be the case. Seems like he's holding off a bit more on the push to pass. The rain should be within the next 15 minutes. Hopefully we'll get an update right around lap 25 if it hasn't fallen yet, which I don't think it will at that point. Under 3/10 now in this fight. Jace Meyer, the car, attempting to overtake here. Miles seemed to potentially run wide there. But the gap did grow. Meyer might want to deploy some of his push to pass. Doesn't seem like it's enough, though, to close in enough. To close in big time, really. He needs to focus on maximizing that exit of turn 6 if he wants a chance at getting this position back. It seems the only real overtaking opportunity on this track is that long back stretch. Meyer under 3/10 once again. He's very fast in turn 1. He's going to have to hold on to it for these next 2 corners, or really 3 corners, if he wants a shot this lap at getting back around Larry Miles. These guys have been going at it all 24 laps of this race. Oh, is Tyler Justice off the track? Seems like he just made a small error. He's back on. Jace Meyer still not close enough to go for the overtake. 2/10 back. He actually does look to the outside. Is he going to send it? He did send it there. He wasn't able to get the overlap he needed, but great commitment from Jace Meyer in his attempt to get right back around Larry Miles. So he's getting closer. This lap could be the lap as long as he sets up turn 5 and 6 nicely. Seems he lost a little bit of time, but he can actually make that time back real quickly if he gets a good exit here, which he doesn't. Actually, quite the opposite happened. Very unfortunate for him. See, hitting 170, nearly 180 before we turn in here for turn 7. See, Meyer's quite a bit faster those last 3 turns. Meyer's tires might start to be a problem with him. It's only been right around 15, 14 laps since the yellow flag. I'm fairly sure he did put on a new set. There are unlimited sets of tires these guys got. So I'm interested in seeing if they are starting to fall away from him here. He's not closing in as much. His fight isn't really there anymore.
Rain update for the broadcast booth mainly, but also you guys. You have about 10 minutes until the rain is supposed to hit, maybe a little bit less.
Under 10 minutes, or maybe right on 10 minutes until the rain. Let's see how it affects this man here, Rick Raven. Very, very far in the lead on these alternate tires. Unsure of his rain experience, but if it's as good, as much as his normal experience of these cars, he should be able to maintain this lead. Leo Delma's not super experienced with these cars, unsure on his rain experience. You could see some jostling of position there. Larry Miles, also in the same boat as someone like Leo Delmas, as he actually is going into the pits. Now, is he... I'm interested on the strategy here. On pit road now. And to install, what tires is it going to be for, though? On to alternates. Interesting. Larry Miles goes onto the alternate tires, not the wet tires, when he just heard the warning that rain is in 10 minutes. I don't consider myself a strategist, but I don't know how that's gonna play out for him. That could be actually a tire mistake on his pit crew. It made it put on the wrong set of tires there than what he needed. Everyone here on track kind of spread out. Larry Miles on the alternate tires. Curious to see is he going to come in again and go onto the wets, or is he just committing to it? I'm not sure what's going on here. No, he's staying out. It might be the plan. He's going to try and maybe stick it out in the rain for as long as possible on these tires. But I don't know why he didn't just stay on the primaries at that point. He could have actually been for fuel. How fuel worked out, but no one in the pits yet. No one else besides him. Rick Raven, nothing. Neil Damas, let's see. Yes, he's going into pit, so it's presumably a fuel stop. Same thing here. Jace Meyer, who's in the grass ever so slightly, nearly clips the wall. Tyler Justice in the pits. Casey Keller, he was able to go long last time out in Montreal. Is he able to do the same thing here? Yes, he is. Larry Miles attempting the undercut. Let's see how it works. All eyes are going to be here on Jace Meyer. Person, he's attempting to undercut. Meyer currently still ahead. Larry Miles fast approaching. You can see them there on your screen. 2:10, so he is closer, but not close enough. Under a 10th now. Meyer off track. Larry Miles made the undercut work, but at the last possible moment, Meyer off track. That's not going to help him too much. Rick Raven now coming down pit road. It's very, very bad news for Jace Meyer as he's off track on his outlap. I think he was surprised how close Miles had caught up to him in the pits. Rain presumably in the next 5 or so minutes. See if we can see the sky here. Yeah, it's very overcast sky now. You can see we even got some fog over our camera. Casey Keller also in the pits. Rick Raven pitting alternates. Did anyone pit to the primaries? Yeah, no, not at all. That's what I presumed. Rick Raven going to be waiting for this rain. Let's see how far people are willing to stay on these slick tires once the drops start to fall. I would assume not long, but you never know. A lot of large gaps now on track, unfortunately. Still got 30 laps to go, just around halfway done with this race. Almost appears to have actually closed in just a little bit. The gap now slightly stabilizing right around that 4-second mark. Meyer has dropped off Miles after getting pushed off track. Not pushed off track. He got surprised and fell off track, we'll say, in turn 2. as Rick Raven just set the fastest lap, and we just set the fastest first sector. That could be something interesting there. Right before the rain hits, putting down fastest laps. See, second sector, new personal best for him. See just how much grip these cars have. Out of the final corner. New fast lap, 102.8. He's throwing down very competitive lap times. He also, in that lap, had the fastest.
Not getting along, huh?
He had the fastest third sector. Tyler Justice seemed to fall back slightly. Same thing with Casey Keller. Rain is now falling down. Repeat, we do have drops now. You can see it's actually very heavy rain. Looking at that weather, see it's rolling in big time. A lot more on the horizon. Question is, how far can these guys push it on these slick tires now that this race is officially wet? Casey Keller, Tyler Justice in the pits, presumably for wet tires. They're making the jump early. Justice on those wets. Casey Keller on these white wall, wet Firestone tires. Out of pit lane. Let's see if he can get any initial grip. He's now been lapped by Rick Raven, who's still on those slicks and still setting great lap times. The 106.1 maybe caught out a little bit. Oh, he's nearly going around there. I think it's time for the wet tires. Leo Delmas, he's off track in turn 2, same place where Raven had that little mistake. Larry Miles, how's he handling? Pretty decently. Things seem to still be going well for him. Jace Meyer as well. But Rick Raven probably coming down pit road this time after that big mistake in turn 2. How slick these conditions are. Now, based on the radar, it's going to be wet the rest of this race. And you see, Jace Meyer missing his front wing. Looks like that's at the top of the hill. Big incident there for him. Not what you like to see, as Rick Raven in the pits, your race leader, on pit road. Bill Dunn was also in the pits. Miles in the pits. Meyer is going to be in the pits as well, not only for these wet tires, but also for that front wing change. Rick Raven out with an incredible pit stop there. Maybe keep an eye here on Larry Miles. Seems like he's having a kind of a slow stop. He's lost some time. A gap 6.5 seconds right about. Gonna see how people get up to speed here on this treaded tire. riding on board here. Rick Raven. See, he's taking everything very slowly. Trying to get this camera a little bit up for everyone. There we go. Oh, Rick Raven, a little bit of a mistake there. Cameras are adjusted now. Sorry for the delay. You can see Raven experiencing these wet conditions. Just look at the state of the windshield, how much fog is on, how much droplets are on it, and look how much spray is behind him. Further back, the Odelmus has fallen off a little bit from Rick Raven. Larry Miles now in third place. He hasn't dropped off the Odelmus. Second place could be on the table for him. You see how this wet line develops over the course of these next 23 laps. On board now with Larry Miles, seeing how his windscreen is doing. This aero shield, this aero screen is very hard to see out of. Of course, no wipers on these open wheel cars, so you just have to rely on the speed to keep the water off. Very cautious, like Rick Raven in turn 6. You can start to see there on the exit some puddling on the inside. Definitely something to keep note of. Larry Miles has lost a bit. Casey Keller lost a couple seconds there. Seems like he was in the grass, and that looks like in turn 2, now turn 3. Casey Keller not having the race he originally probably wanted today. Tyler Justice falling back from Meyer. So you can start to see the amount of puddles popping up here on track. It's very slippery out. A lot of water starting to pool. Jace Meyer has definitely fallen back a good chunk now that we're in the wet conditions. A little bit of a wiggle there. Exit at 2. Surprisingly, everyone is keeping things all clean. Gaps are growing faster than usual, but not fast enough for it to be because of off tracks or contact or anything. See, watching now with Rick Raven, doing still really well even in these wet conditions. Lap times running around 14 seconds slower than in the dry. So many high-speed corners, you're unable to put down the same level of power in every corner. So Larry Miles closed in a second this lap on Leo Delmas. Miles seeming to learn the rain faster than the 20. Raven still somehow sticking to that dry-ish line. See a big wiggle there out of the final corner. Just look at the puddles here. The state of the track is incredible. Ooh, big wiggle there. He nearly went off the track. Track officially labeled as moderately wet, and I can see why. Again, more wiggles there in this first sector. Seems that's everyone's worst part of the track, except maybe for the top of the hill here. Still keeping it very stable. Exit of 6. Going to go. The rain is still coming down. Relatively hard now. See Rick Raven having to go down multiple more gears in these final couple corners with how much water is on the track. You can see he's having to dance with the wheel here, play with it every single second, trying to keep the thing in the right direction. And his struggles are going to be compounded here as he's approaching Casey Keller. Keller not obliged to move over for blue flags, though he might, as Rick Raven once again having a big wiggle, exit a 2. Raven closing in on Casey Keller to lap him. Where if he's lucky, Raven will be able to get him on a straight. So the spray and the traction difference isn't too terrible. Further back, Leo Delmas, Larry Miles, that gap nearly under 6 seconds. Miles is seeming to close in just a bit. He was able to go through that second to last corner a little faster than he was the previous lap. So he is also starting to figure out the rain line. Let's see how he's able to handle the turn 2 this time. These last 3 or so laps, he's had a large mistake, and he has it again. Kept it under control beautifully like the last couple times. As he's blinking now a little bit. Now you want to see if you're Rick Raven. Larry Miles closing in big time as well. Yeah, and Casey Keller just letting Raven by. No harm, no foul. Looking at Keller, if you look here, you can see how much spray he's now getting. He can't even see the car ahead of him. He has already lost about a second, but even then, still a lot of spray. Raven running amazing in these wet conditions. On lap times, currently Larry Miles are running the fastest lap in these conditions as Casey Keller's off track further back. Fortunately for him, Rick Raven, as he figured out turn 2, He had a little bit of a wiggle, but he's starting to get better at it. That's for sure. He's having to slow down. Larry Miles, though, running beautifully. You can see how far out he's going there. Searching for the grip, keeping the thing straight. Now under 4.5 seconds off Leo Delmas. Putting down amazing lap times as this rain continues to develop. Looking at the lap times, besides Casey Keller when he moved over, Rick Raven actually has the slowest lap of the field. So it seems that Raven might not be the master in all conditions. So Larry Miles ran nearly 2 seconds faster than him. Actually, it was over 2 seconds faster that lap. Ooh, big slide there from Miles out of the final corner. Didn't seem to hurt him too much, though. Larry Miles under 3.5 seconds now to Leo Delmas. He's making up all his time here in turn 2 and 3. Seems these long, fast corners are where he's best compared to the rest of the field. Chris Meyer, did he make a mistake? It might have, because he's going very slowly. Where is Casey Keller? I'm trying to figure out when they'll catch him. Tyler Justice in the pits. Missing the front portion of his wing. Contact somewhere. Not what you want to see. Tyler Justice, that's going to help Casey Keller out big time. Keller in turn 1. Leo Delmas entering turn 1. I'm presuming that Casey Keller is going to be just as nice to the 20 and the 30 as they were to the 1, as Larry Miles nearly around. Big snap in turn 1 that's going to cost him a lot of time. He was looking so good, maybe even potentially fighting for the lead with how much he was closing in, but he's going to have to do all that work over again. Got caught out by a puddle on the exit of turn 1. He's going to need to see some mistakes from the 2 cars ahead of him. Very unfortunate if you're Larry Miles, though he's still pushing on. Now once again, another big wiggle for him. It seems the puddles are starting to be too much for him. Just look at how slippery this track is. It's incredible. The whole track is basically turned into one big puddle. No super big wiggle that time. Let's see in turn 1. This is where he messed up last time. See, same spot. Making mistakes. He's going to need to stick it more to the inside on exit. The rain changing the racetrack every single lap. Can't really run the same line twice. More wiggles. I think he sort of lost his edge here after he made that big mistake. Cost him a lot of time. The lap times have really started to drop off. Honestly, that mistake in that gap that he lost might have been the only thing actually stopping him from fighting for the lead even with Rick Raven, and with how quickly he was closing in on everyone. Honestly, Rick Raven and Leo Dunn was not unable to make mistakes, so we could still see that happen. As Leo Dunn appears to actually close in a little bit on Raven. Raven seeming to push wide there. See all the rain getting kicked up by those white wall tires. Another wiggle there for Raven. Raven adapting to the conditions well. Maybe not as well as someone like Miles or Delmas, but well enough to keep this lead unless he makes a mistake. Which I think is what will need to happen for someone like Miles or Delmas to walk away with this race. Larry Miles 24 seconds off the lead. He's going to need a monumental close or a big mistake from Rick Raven. Looking at the lap times, Larry Miles is actually slowed down quite a lot. It seems, yeah, he's just lost the edge he had. He's just doesn't have the confidence to push the car anymore. That one mistake. You can see he's just sort of pedaling the car around, not sure what to do. Oh, big snap there in a straight line. There's a lot of water on track here. Leo Delmas under 10 seconds now off Rick Raven. This could be on the cards. Jace Meyer under 10 seconds off Larry Miles. Miles, it seems like, is pretty much done. Oh, Leo Delmas, he's off track, and he's into the wall in turn one. That's ended his chances pretty much of getting the win. He's going to have to go all the way back around. Larry Miles in the pit lane. That's Casey Keller spinning off screen. Oh! Everyone crashing here. There's a lot of water on track. We might actually potentially see a safety car, red flag or something, because there's so much water. Yeah, caution is out. A lot of water on track.
That caution is for several cars spinning in turn one.
Cars everywhere along the straight, just spinning in a straight line. This is new territory right there. As always, all cautions in Vantage iRacing brought to you by Tayfi Artists. I'm sorry here. This is there's a lot going on I was not expecting to see. Very surprised at what's going on. So first, we're gonna look at Jace Meyer and what happened to him. So actually, we're gonna look at Leo Delmas. I got a lot of screens up here trying to get these things pulled up for you guys. Let's see here if I can get this thing pulled up nice and quickly here. Here we go. Here is Leo Delmas. Sorry for that extended caution
This race would be
screen.
red flags at this point.
Here's Leo Delmas in turn 1.
With
See,
my
the
current
car just
position, I'd be
pushes.
okay with that.
Goes in the grass. Then just hooks it
Yeah,
on the
according
straight.
to iRacing, the track is not just wet, the track is very wet.
Then here is Casey Keller
Yeah.
on the
We're
exit
talking
at the
about
final
an ocean
corner. Just spinning it
I tell you, you better get the floaties out.
in a straight line. Then here's Jace Meyer doing the same thing into the wall, though. Let's watch a...
Yeah, on the long back straight, there's a puddle that crosses the whole track, and you can spin going full throttle over it. It's crazy.
The whole track is very wet now.
Yeah, you just found it.
Wow.
Seems we got spins under yellow
I think
as
we're on the
well,
stream at this point.
according to the radio. Can't
Maybe
even
keep
see
you a
it.
little distance from me in case I do that again.
This is unprecedented conditions. Cars spinning straight lines. Cars spinning under yellow. These are very, very wet conditions here. I'm sorry for laughing at this, but it's just so surprising of just how wet the track is. You see all the cars that hit the wall that lap. Heading...
I got super lucky with the timing of that caution. I was in the pits when it came up.
heading back down. Miles, the only one actually on track still. Did Rick Raven actually? Did he clip the wall on? No. So Larry Miles somehow cycled to the lead of this race with 9 to go on home soil. Larry Miles could be in position to win this thing. Wow. Gonna try and speak here to Hightower.
Really interesting.
William Hightower, this is Elliot up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, as admin for this race and seeing the conditions on track, all the cars spinning in straight lines, do you think is this race gonna get back green, or are we gonna have to end under yellow?
Honestly, I think we can get back green. Looking at the weather, it appears that
Lucky Dog in the rain is gonna suck.
it's going to get much worse. Right now, they're in the yellow portion of the precipitation,
Uh-huh.
and very shortly it will become red, and the entire track is likely to become a river.
I mean, the entire track is already a river, so I don't know. It's gonna be basically turned into an ocean at this point.
Yeah, well, yeah, like Larry said, it's practically a stream right now. We're about to have to get the floaties out and have these guys swim across the finish line.
Yeah, I turned the camera to watch Larry Miles enter the pits, and then suddenly Casey Keller is backwards on coming down the front straight, and then I switch to his camera and I see Jace Meyer backwards on the front straight as well. So
Yep,
much.
And just before that, Leo actually spun it.
Maybe it's
Leo
not a
sponged
street,
the wall,
maybe there's like a dry spot under the gantry that, you know, the difference in grip is making us spin.
Definitely interesting. I was actually just ranting and raving.
I don't know. I didn't.
There was like debris spread all over the place after the gantry, so might be the place.
Cars spinning and making contact with the wall. And then about 10 seconds later, I see Larry coming out of the pits. I'm like, this is amazing for Larry.
Yeah, Larry Miles cycled to the front after seeming to fall back like an extra 25 seconds. I don't know what to say really about this, because I mean, were thoughts of testing out the big red flag button ever considered?
Yeah, a little bit. I think these guys have the talent to be able to make it around this track for, I believe it's going to be 7 laps.
Yeah.
They just got the 1 to green with 8 to go, so I think they could make it 7 laps and not die.
Rick Raven nearly just dumped it in turn 1 again.
Oh.
While warming his tires, which I don't think you can do in these conditions, really. He had a big wiggle.
Yep, I'm seeing that now.
But yeah,
Wow.
my guess, I think we are about to see the slowest getaway from green in racing history.
Absolutely. And I was just mentioning too, just before I got pulled in, the lap times had significantly slowed down.
Yeah, they were in the 120s at this point. 121s,
Yep.
122s.
Yeah, they were in the 112s around there when they had originally gone to the rain tires.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, they're above the 120 mark, and I think it's only just going to get slower from here. So it's going to be a war of attrition and see who can survive until the end.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to be who's left to finish this race.
Yep.
All right, well, I'm going to get you back down there. Thank you for giving us an update on the barely a track we're dealing with right now.
Absolutely.
That was William Hightower, your lead race admin for this event. Just look at the sheer amount of water on this track. Further back, see, even at these low speeds, there's still so much spray. We're only going right around 80 miles an hour, 60 even, and there's a lot of spray, gravel on track from the places where people have gone off. No real spots of grip. I mean, maybe right where Leo Domus is right now on this outside, you can start to see a little bit of a dry area. Or dry, relatively dry compared to what it looks like on the inside, on the outside of the track, but not sure if that's going to be really usable. Like here on Larry Miles, right along the outside ring, there's a dry spot. Don't know if that's even faster at all than just going slowly through the middle. There is no telling what's going to happen in this race. All I know is it's about to get back going. Miles got away surprisingly quickly. I was not expecting these guys to get going this fast. Everyone living through turn one, which is incredible. Watching Larry Miles here. Able to keep it going as well. Watch here from Rick Raven's perspective. You can see the level of spray even 1 second back. You can't see ahead of you at all. You're driving blind at this point. Oh, Leo Dumas with an off into the wall. First victim of these torrential conditions since we've gone back green. As Rick Raven capitalizing on a mistake from Miles. Miles in the grass. Miles nearly in the wall. Having to reverse. Miles got caught out by the rain from the lead. So Rick Raven's able to capitalize and sail off into the distance. Jace Myers up to second now. But Rick Raven leading. On soon to be 6 to go. Everything is all lighting up this race. Rick Raven, only one left in the top 4 who hasn't made a mistake, as Leo Delmas is in the pits for that damage he sustained on turn 4. Raven still mistake free. A little bit of a wiggle, but nothing just yet. So much rain out on track. Everyone's just running variously slow lap times. No one is really safe from these conditions. Well, Delmas is in the pits still. He might not have a fast repair left. Rick Raven capitalized greatly. Still no mistakes from him. His worst corner, turn 2 and 3. That's where he has the most amount of wiggles. Watch the steering wheel here on exit. Let's see if he's able to keep it going straight. He is mostly by going just so incredibly slowly. Jace Meyer actually closed in some there. Also searching for the grip. Oh, Meyer able to keep it on track there. 5 laps to go here. It doesn't seem like anyone can catch Rick Raven. Miles, he had the lead, but he lost it in turn 6. Tyler Justice out of this race. Also important to note after sustaining a good chunk of damage. Meyer closed in a good chunk of time there. Jace Meyer running beautifully in these conditions right now. Rick Raven, though, the one to beat. Meyer's going to need to get around his teammate. Hopefully, for Meyer's sake, this is orchestrated nicely. And Meyer can continue closing in because he's only 2.7 seconds off. Yeah, here he's led around. Jace Meyer closing in big time on Rick Raven. Raven might be making mistakes that we're just not catching. Jace Meyer closing in even more. We could be seeing the 21 car's first win of the season. We don't want to speak too quickly yet because we're mostly done with our 58th of 60 first lap. That gap's now under 2 seconds. Right before the caution, Meyer was running the fastest in these conditions. After it, he's continued that form up. Under 2 seconds with 3 to go. He closed in 2 seconds that lap. Over that, actually. Well, under 1.5 seconds now. This is the closest the lead has been under green since I think the very start of this race even. Oh, big wiggle there from Meyer. But he's able to keep it straight. Only lost right around 2-3 tenths there. Luckily for him, there's still a lot of track left to make that time right back up. 1.5 seconds now. 3 to go. Under 1.3 seconds. Under 1.2 seconds. That gap now. An important thing to note, Meyer doesn't have to just catch Rick Raven. He has to get around Rick Raven, which, especially in these conditions, is going to be very difficult. Two laps to go here in Canadian Tire. Jace Meyer 1.1 seconds off of Rick Raven as they enter turn 1. This is the most pressure Rick Raven's had all race. Probably the most pressure he's had in the last 3 races even. Under 9 tenths now. Casey Keller in the pits, presumably for damage. Meyer's going to need to close in as much as he can this lap to give himself a fighting chance. On the last lap, he hasn't closed in as much as he would have wanted to. He's actually lost some time to Rick Raven this last sector. I think Rick Raven is going to need to make some sort of mistake. Or Meyer's going to need to have the best lap of his life. if he wants to get it done, as the white flag is in the air for Rick Raven. That gap, 1.6 seconds. Raven was about half cent faster. You can see on the straights, these guys are just getting loose in just straight lines. How much water is on this racetrack. Ooh, Meyer off the track. That's going to potentially seal the deal unless Rick Raven makes a very big mistake. Or even a small one, honestly. The little bit of a wiggle there, but that's not going to be nearly enough. He needs to lose for Meyer's sake. Rick Raven needs to have about 2 seconds of error in this final half a lap. To running out of time for that to happen. The only real spot left is the final 3 corners, where the final one is extremely treacherous. .4 seconds. I think Meyer is just banking on Rick Raven making an error. Checkered flag's out. Are we going to see something here in the final corner? Doesn't seem like it. Rick Raven, in these torrential conditions, is going to take the checkered flag. Jace Meyer put up an excellent fight trying to steal it, but in the end, a simple mistake caught him out. Larry Miles, it finishes third somehow. I don't know how. Leo Delmas, after damage, finishes 5th, 2 laps down. Casey Keller is going to be 4th. End up keeping the car mostly clean out there. Wow. Keller not across the line yet. Look at the weather conditions here. Firmly in the orange. Firmly in the orange. Track is very wet. Now it's time for Casey Keller to cross the line P4. Good result for him, honestly. Rick Raven ends up getting the win. Let's see, it's blocked right now. Is Rick Raven going to try and do some donuts? Because it's going to be very easy. Just throwing down the usual wiggle. He earned it this time. A lot of effort went into even just staying on track this race, let alone finishing it and winning it. I'm impressed with how all these guys did. Especially Rick Raven in this instance. Well, let's get started with driver interviews. Larry, it's Elliot up in the booth. You got me?
Yep.
Alrighty, after questionable conditions, we'll say, you end up walking away in third. Talk us through what was going on, not only in the beginning stages of that race, but once the rain came down.
Well, I knew alternates were going to get shredded around here. And primaries would be the better tire after like 6 laps. So I was staying on primaries the whole time. And then when he came in with the final rain update, I knew alternates were going to be good because the rain was gonna come down hard. I don't want to be stuck out there on hard tires. And then, of course, the rain hit. I was actually doing pretty good. I was like catching up to Leo and catching up to Rick. And then I spun out. I don't remember where I spun out, but oh yeah, I spun out of turn one because I took too much curb. That lost me like 10 seconds, and then that caution came out at like the perfect time. So I was in the pits, so I was able to get the lead. And then my bad habit of touching that curb caught up to me, and I just fucking it just spun out. Yeah, it was my race to lose, and I lost. So
Yeah, you originally were running quite fast laps in the rain there and kept that up. Talk us through in the beginning stage of that race, that battle you were having there with Jace Meyer.
oh, it's just a difference in tires. He was ahead when the alternates are better. I was ahead when the primaries are better. So plain and simple.
All right, well, overall in this two round Canadian stretch, um, you did decently. Looking at our next race, it's gonna be, let's see the information here. The next round is Gateway back on the oval. How you feeling for that?
Oh, we'll see. It's gonna be hard to beat Rick. I mean, congrats on the win to him. Yeah, kept the car straight, unlike me, and won. So,
Absolutely.
and it was my race to lose. Just feel so man.
Alrighty, well, I'll let you stew in your emotions
Right.
for the next little bit. Sad to see what happened. Hopefully you get a lot better luck next time out.
Thank you. I hope so.
That was Larry Miles. Up next, we got Jace Meyer. Jace, it's Elliot up in the booth. You got me?
Yep, I got you.
Alrighty, after quite an interesting final half of the race, you ended up in second. Talk us through what was going on there from your perspective.
I don't really know what happened, to be honest. I kind of just, I was stressing about the dry conditions, hoping that, the wets would come a bit sooner than they did. I kind of got hung out to dry, ironically, on that. And when it did come, I had the pace. I felt like I was the fastest out there, and I mean, I think I could have maybe done a little more on a less tight track, I feel like, against Raven. That's for sure. It was an exhausting race, mentally.
Absolutely. You did have one or two errors. The biggest one coming out of the final corner, where Casey Keller also made the mistake. Yeah, the track looked incredibly just like it was just a continuous river almost at that point.
I mean, really, you were floating the whole time. I over throttled it into the corner, getting a bit too excited, trying to push for that time and push for those positions. And I mean, it happens. I'm still getting used to it, but I felt like that was a pretty good first proper outing in the wet weather. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I know, and there were some talks in the chat on that caution not being necessary. Um, After you and Casey spun, what is your response to that?
I don't think that's what he's talking about. I know what Kashi is talking about, but
No,
whatever.
in the chat in some of the other chats.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody was on the racing line. The only person who was on the racing line or who could have been a problem was I believe it was Keller, who I saw facing the wrong way when I came back on. So,
Yeah.
do I think it was necessary? I don't. I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I was happy for it because it put me in a good spot again. So,
Absolutely. Well, looking at our next race, it's gonna be Gateway. Talk us through what you are thinking for that round.
I think I'm just going to have to sharpen up my oval discipline and put on some better results than I have been previously in the ovals. Milwaukee was a disappointment for me, and I'm hoping to kind of avenge that disappointment with this next oval race here.
Absolutely, and yeah, on your teammates, you had a lot of stuff going on with your teammates. Elliot Rolls having that incredible incident in turn 5.
I
Stuff of legends at this point already. Um, And Leo Doma's making a couple mistakes, unfortunately, just being caught out without his fast repair late in the race. You think the team is going to be? You think the team learned a good amount of stuff in time for the next rain race we might be having?
Well, first off, I'll say Elliott is the next Gilles Villeneuve as far as I'm concerned. Uh, and as for Leo, I mean, he was also struggling. We didn't really properly prepare for the conditions, and I think he had it just a little bit worse than I did. I don't know how the hell I got through it. I almost crashed into caution, if that gives you an idea of how the hell I don't know. I almost
Everyone
got through
almost
it.
crashed under caution at this point. So
I think so. Yeah, it was like driving a boat out there. I had a little dinghy.
yeah,
So, yep. I don't know. I think it's just valuable information for the team, and I don't think he's going to be making the same mistakes next time. I mean, really, he drove the best race he could have, so I feel bad for him. It should have been him here, not me. But that's how it goes, and you just gotta pick yourself up for the next one.
absolutely. And yeah, back to the rain. What's your not only was your opinion on this race in the rain, but also just the rain in general with these cars, and how interested are you in seeing it in future Indy special races?
I mean, I think it's a necessary part of the sport. I'm not a fan of it, but I think it's a necessary part of the sport, and I think you can see why, because it makes races much more interesting. Because I don't think that race would have been maybe as interesting without the weather, but I don't think we should see it all the time. I think just a race here and there with it would be nice, but don't overdo it, of course.
Absolutely. Honestly, it was on the forecast a couple weeks, but just ended up missing us every time
Right
until
now,
now. But
and then,
and
boy,
what a way to
it
show
hit.
up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Monsoon conditions, just about. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I'm exhausted after that race. That's mentally demanding on me personally. I don't know about the other drivers, but to me that was a big demand of keeping the grip all the time. I was always about to lose the car, and sometimes I did, obviously, but I did what I could. I almost took home a win, which is what I'm thinking about. So
Absolutely. Well, I will let you go, and yeah, hopefully you can keep this momentum up going into
yep,
next race in
yep,
Gateway.
that is the hope. Thank you.
Was Jace Meyer finishing in second. Now, let's talk to Rick Raven. Rick, it's Elliot up in the booth. You got me.
Hey, Elliot, how you doing?
I am doing well. I had an interesting time watching that unfold. Talk us through what it was like to drive in those conditions.
Oh, I don't know. It was fun. It was challenging. Um, Stayed on the racing line. I knew that wasn't the way to go, but I didn't know if anybody else knew, how to run in the rain. And then, you know, late in the race, they were catching me. I'm like, all right, they figured it out. So I started running outside, offline. But it was fun. A couple of yellow flags. I wasn't really happy to see because I started building up a little bit of a gap, but a couple yellows and in the rain. I mean, it was interesting. It was fun. I had a good time. Line them up. Let's do it again.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, the yellow flags wasn't really expecting them. I kind of expected one or two under or in the rain conditions, but Elliot Rolls doing a backflip in turn 5 under in the
Yeah,
green and in the dry was surprising.
no, I didn't see that. I
Yeah,
didn't see anything. I just Miles losing it in front of me, setting
yeah.
him up for the backstretch. But visibility was just terrible
Oh
behind in the
yeah,
rain. They got it right. I mean, it looks realistic. I've seen it from in-car cameras, in the rain and in real life motorsports, and boy, they really got that down. They got that down pat, and there was a lot of water. There was standing water everywhere, and I mean, it was just a challenge, man. It was fun.
yeah, absolutely. Talk us through what was sort of going on in your head once you started to see Jace Meyer out of nowhere just start to get closer and closer. He was running about 1 to 2 seconds faster than you every single lap.
Yeah, I knew what he was doing. He was running offline. I knew to do that. If you noticed, that's what I started doing in the last couple laps because I knew if I stayed on the racing line, I was going to probably get past, or maybe we would have made contact. Who knows? As slippery as it was, opportunity is there, and you maybe get a little overzealous, and trying to hold him back there, and and he's trying to get around, and it's like, the excitement, the adrenaline, and all that. I just wanted to make sure he stayed where he was. So the last couple of laps, I drove the track the correct way in the rain to keep him back there. Also using some push to pass, of course. But nah, man, he was really fast, very impressive.
Absolutely. I'm looking 2 weeks from now. We got Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway. What are your thoughts on that race returning to the oval after these questionable conditions?
Well, can't race in the rain on an oval, although
Absolutely.
it would be fun, but unfortunately they don't do it. I sent I racing a note. I says, you should make it rain anyway on an oval, and then bring the red flag out. You sit in the pits for 5 minutes, clears up, and go back out. It that would have been that'd be pretty that'd be pretty cool. I'd be down for that. I don't think anybody would turn that down, because it's realistic. Sometimes a race gets red flagged in the rain, but sit there no longer than like 5 minutes. Red flag, everybody pulls in the pits. You sit there and it's like pouring rain. Everybody's talking. That'd be cool, But I don't know. Gateway's it's a fun track. It's a challenging track, to get it right. So I'm not really sure what to expect. It seems like Miles is just getting faster. For that matter, so is Rolls. Justice is quick on the oval, so that's it's going to be a challenge, no question about it. We're hoping to keep this streak going, and I want to say hello to Jacob out there. Hey, holy cow! Look at all those comments. Look at the comments. Hold it, Ravon, please. Come on, please, Ravon, one more time. Let's go, buddy. Yeah, he's awesome, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've been able to, luckily enough, grow your championship lead after all the chaos that happened today. 12 races in, we're well over, a little bit over halfway now in this season. Looking back on this first half, what has been your general opinion?
I have regrets, like Sebring not saving fuel. We had the pace. We could have won that one. I have regrets because my VR crapped out at Milwaukee. We were dominating. I think we had a good shot to win that one. I have regrets at it's always regrets.
You have a lot of regrets.
Nothing but regrets. I have regrets at Road Atlanta, battling with Miles. I made a mistake. Whatever the corner is, a double right-hander that I hate. That's like sort of a little off camber, goes uphill. I have regrets because wait, what else? Let's see. I don't know. It's been a good season though. We've made a pretty good comeback. So we've got the points lead, and I said this several races ago. It looks like, from what I've seen, and I've been doing this a long time, Miles is just very solid, and it'll probably go down to the final race, wherever the heck that is.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting, and right around 15 weeks time when we get to that final round.
I know, and it's a great league. It's a great season. It's a great mixture of short tracks, big ovals, road courses, street courses. You got a little bit of everything. And I'm just really 7 people, maybe after the summer, because, people are busy. But for as good as this league is, I'm really shocked to see the car count so low. It's very disappointing, but whatever. I mean, I'm going to show. I almost didn't make it because, you guys are like, your races are separated by 2 weeks, sometimes 3. So after last week, I'm like, okay, I got a weekend. And I took my car in to get detailed. And then I see something race, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're racing today? 2 weeks in a row? Unheard of. So I had to wait until the car was done and, then come home and do whatever I had to do. I had about 15 minutes to get ready. But I almost missed this one. But I guess we have a drop week, so that probably would have been my drop week.
Yeah, the Canadian doubleheader really seemed to catch some people out. Well, anyone you would like to thank for today's race as we close out tonight's broadcast?
Well, I want to thank Larry for spinning out. No, I'm only kidding. I was watching him last night. I was pulling for him because, like I said before, he's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. He's a solid racer. I love racing with him. And I was really looking forward to battling with him because I know that you could trust him. And that would have been fun. But these treacherous conditions, man, if you're 50% on the throttle, you're okay. But if you're 51%, whoop, around it goes. So he just, I mean, it's a knife edge like that, around wet conditions like that. But he just got bit, and I don't know. We would just, I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. I want to say hello to Jacob, of course. Thanks for the support, man. Thanks to Vantage for putting on the show, VISL or VISL, Vantage Indy Special League. Thanks to all the drivers that actually show up every week. And I'm calling out to more drivers. Come on out and join the fun, man. You don't know what you're missing. The Lord Jesus for dying on the cross for me. I'd be remiss if I don't mention him. He's everything to me. And I don't know, the wife and kids. I'm gonna go hang out with the wife now and tell her, hey, honey, I won. Oh, good, honey, I'm proud of you. That always helps, you know. So I guess that's about it, man. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. August 23rd, VISL returns to an oval at Gateway.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was watching. I forgot. I was watching Larry Miles yesterday at Daytona, and I was in the chat, and I'm like, Miles got this. Go Miles. Go Miles. Because he's easy to cheer for because he's a good guy, and he pulled it off, man. He won by about 2 bumpers, and so that was fun to watch. So just having a good time, man. Looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Well, always great to hear from you, Rick. And yeah, we will see you a couple weeks' time at Gateway.
Okay, we'll see you then. Oh, I want to congratulate Delmas, by the way, Leo, on a podium finish. Great job, man. And yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. God bless you.
He finished 5th.
Oh, I'm looking at. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, who's? Okay, I missed it here. Okay, I'll bring it up. Jace, that's right. Yeah, I was so busy looking at the rain, I didn't even know who the heck was reeling me in. That's right, Jace Meyer. Congratulations on the 2nd place, man. Did a great job. Very impressive. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks. That was Rick Raven. Always interesting, as always, to talk to. Yeah, that race he was referring to, the PPE shootout, kicking off the Vantage Pro Series Season 3. Next Thursday, that returns. We're back at Daytona, this time for round 1, first points event of the season. Going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But that will do things here today. Later on, and very shortly, we have VRL, Vantage Racing League, over on Forza in these same cars. Tomorrow, V1 Europe, still going on. Later on next week, we have the Vantage Pro Series Round 1, as previously mentioned, Thursday. Friday, nothing. I think Friday Night Fenders, though, is going to be kicking off relatively soon. Saturday, VRL once again, and then Sunday, V1 Europe. But, as I mentioned already, that will do things here. I have been your host, Elliot Lang. Rick Raven's your winner. This was a broadcast by Vantage Racing Team, Vantage Media Group, all that fun stuff. Make sure to follow all the social medias, Instagram, probably Facebook, the YouTube you're watching this on now. We also have a Twitch account for some of our smaller live events. Yeah, this was what a race. I'll just say that, what a race we had today. Yeah, good night, everyone.